Okay, so let's create the cookie question. This method screams of longevity and credibility. Exactly. We're creating an asset with our business. We are catering for people who want to buy right now. We're catering for people who are interested in just learning and increasing certainty, getting educated, and making sure that they go forward. But and you might be asking, but Ed, I don't have a product right now. That's fine, right? It's no problem. That's all part of the that's part of the ongoing process. But at least knowing that your market is prepared to engage in a discussion means that they're at least 1 star of a 5-star prospect, so that it's worth you putting more time. Isn't that fantastic? So, what are the components of a good cookie question? They are these 4 things. One is that it is positive focused. Now, as you know, I'm a big fan of negative and car accidents and pain and all those sorts of things. But when you ask a negative cookie question, when people feel pain, what's their immediate reaction? They don't know from your bar of soap, so they're they're not going to respond, right? So if it's a negative question, it puts them off. Also, make sure it's not accusatory, that it does not accuse them of something. To give you an example of this, and this is hilarious, just shows to show how I can stuff things up. The first cookie question that I tested, which was an abject failure, was literally this. Hey, thanks for downloading your first dollar. Let me ask you, why haven't you chosen a market yet? Right? I'm basically saying, you suck. Why haven't you chosen a market yet? I've just called into question your personal character because you have failed because you have yet to choose a market. So fortunately, I was able to have Dean have a look at that and had to have him gently suggest that was a problem. So if you look at my cookie question, hey, thanks for downloading your first dollar. Have you chosen a market yet, or are you starting from scratch? Now think about that. If I had just stopped with have you chosen a market yet, that's a problem because that's accusatory. In other words, because the negative, even though I'm asking it in a nice way, the mental reaction is, oh no, I haven't chosen a market yet. I haven't done something. I've done something wrong. Shouldn't I have read the book? Because they haven't read the book by now. They haven't read your SAGE document. You have to assume that they haven't. So they're thinking, oh, I missed something in the homework. I haven't done my homework, so I'm not going to respond. So I want to make it totally cool and okay. And that's why I add to my question, or are you starting from scratch? So it's very comfortable for them to say, oh, no, I'm just starting out. And that's them putting their hand up. So that was key. So let me give you some other examples. Dean, with his 90-minute book process, simply asks, hey, so if somebody requests to do a 90-minute book and requests ironically, the 90-minute book on how to do a book in 90 minutes, the email that he'll send out to people is, hey, what's your book about? Thanks for downloading 90-minute book. What's your book going to be about? Totally positive. It's not saying, hey, have you done the book yet? It's not accusatory. But that's another client of mine who works with small businesses. Simply asks, hey, what business are you in? Question mark. By the way, that's the other key part of a cookie question. It expects a response. And the fourth part of this, it's got to be short. It's a personal email from you, and it's got to be, right? It's got to be short. To do it exactly like I say. Emulate, not innovate. Okay? Emulate, not don't innovate at this point. So we want you to keep the question short. Hey, thanks for downloading my Sage Doc. Question, cookie question. That's it. And you send that to everybody. So you get your leads, your Facebook lead gen, you download a CSV file, right? And 24 hours after you download that file, you just send them an email from your personal email address, okay? It's your personal email. Hey, thanks for downloading my book. And we have to say, hey, thanks for downloading my Sage Doc to remind people why they're getting the email from you, right? That's the psychology of that. This is a simple question, but please do not underestimate the genius and the amount of effort and the psychology that Dean has put into this process. I mean, it is astounding when you unpack all the psychological elements of this. So here's the thing. I'd love to, why don't in the box here, just send me a couple of markets, tell me what the name of your Sage document is, and tell me what the market is, and we'll create a couple of cookie questions for you just here on the spot. We'll do a couple, so speak now, forever hold your peace. Just pop them into the box, and let's do a couple of cookie questions here live for you. Or if you think you've got a cookie question, why don't you just type your cookie question into the box here, and we'll read it out and we'll tweak it if we need to tweak it. So, her Sage document is running. I want to learn how to run, but don't know how. So that's their thing. So we have to come up with a question which is positive, which does not excuse, which expects a response. So another way of looking at these sorts of things is, what's the first thing that you would potentially ask somebody? If you were sitting down in front of them, what's the very first thing that you would ask them? Right? That is often a good clue in terms of what you would talk to them about. So, for example, if I was sitting down in front of somebody who's come to me and asking about running this, so what's the first thing that I would do? Something along the lines, have you tried running in the past? Right? That is something, just a nice, quick question, right? It's non-accusatory, because in this case, they're saying, okay, yeah, I'm interested in running, and you'd be interested in, have you tried running in the past? Just something really super simple for them to start with, right? So that is the first question that I would try with that. So let's have a look here. What else have we? So what have we got? Here's another one. 4 tips for starting a YouTube channel. Hey, thanks for downloading YouTube tips. What's your channel about? Now, the only tweak, that's very good, James. The only tweak, and it's the addition of one word, but this word is so crucial. In that question, what's your channel about? We've made the assumption that they already have a channel. And it's highly likely that if they're doing 4 tips for starting a YouTube channel, that they're going to not have a channel right now. So all we have to do, just the one word change, is what's your channel going to be about? That's the only change we need to make, and you are cooking with gas. Because here's the problem. If you just say, what's your channel about, and you don't have a channel, you think, oh, God, I haven't done the homework. They're not going to respond. So there's another one. So here's another one from Lou. How to find and fix Mustang electrical issues. So my obvious one that just slaps me in the head, Lou, here is, if they've got Mustang electrical issues, by definition, they've got a Mustang. But of course, guess what? There are many, many years of Mustangs. So the thing that I would love to ask is, hey, now you just need to phrase this question a little bit better for the slang of the market. But effectively, my cookie question here would be, hey, what model Mustang have you got? What year Mustang have you got? Right? However you phrase that, whatever the terminology of that market is, that is what I would do. Okay, another one here. Neil says here, grandparents' rights, a chapter from what a court considers when awarding grandparents' rights. Now, this is an urgency, painful, negative issue where people have they're not looking at this market right now, right? They're not downloading this document unless they've got a problem right now. So in this particular case, and I'm so glad we've got an example of this, again, you have to think through the thought process of this. So the thing that I would ask here is, hey, thanks for downloading grandparents' rights. I would literally ask something along the line. Again, you have to get your phraseology right, but effectively what we want to ask is, hey, are you in this situation right now? Now, does that sort of break a couple of the rules? In some ways it does, but this is a perfect example. This is a classic example of where you potentially want to slightly break the rules because they've got a problem right now, right? This is the very nature of this. People, as a general rule, are not researching grandparents' rights, custody rights, or any of these sorts of things. So just saying, hey, if you've got a situation right now is something, where are you in the process, where are you in the process right now, Neil? He's just put this is fantastic. That is really good. Okay, so let's have a look here. So so Ivan says 5 simple proven steps to help you build your daily meditation practice. So Ivan would be something along the line. That's a classic case of, hey, have you tried meditation before? Question mark. Just a nice, simple, positive thing. They build your daily practice. They might say, oh, no, I've been doing it for a while, but you're asking a conversation. So awesome. So does that make sense, people? That is creating a cookie and doing that, but we've got to keep it simple. We've got to expect a response and we've got to keep it short.